What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're here for episode 45 of Flashback Pink Slips here in Madden 20. Kind of, the in-between episode between Season 2, which was the Hawaii Warriors, and Season 3, which will be our new team, which I'm not exactly sure who I'm going to pick. I'm leaning towards a couple teams, but I will always kind of, at least try to poll you guys on what team you want to see. But we don't even know yet. What's going to happen now is this. Because we have no rush, no need to join a team right away, and we're a little bit behind schedule because, like I said, I want to try my best to get up to the 2020 draft and get that season done before Madden 21 drops. So what we are going to do is essentially we're going to go through, as Chip Kelly, right? We'll go through this offseason, the draft as the Hawaii Warriors. We'll be making picks. We'll just sim the draft, see where the big name players landed. And then for that 2010 season, I'm sure I'm going to sim that entire year. Obviously, we'll still just remain Chip Kelly so we can see what is going on. We can see if the Hawaii Warriors can find a way to repeat. But essentially, we're just going to try to play catch up a little bit. And we will start Season 3 of Flashback Pink Slips with our new team at the beginning of the 2010 into 11 offseason. So we'll pick our team so that we can have that 2011 draft and really start from there. That's obviously a pretty important draft, especially when everything looks back upon. It's gonna be, I think, unless I'm literally gonna Google right now. I probably could have been a little bit more prepared, but I'm pretty sure the 11, that's the one with like Von Miller and stuff. Cam Newton, Von Miller, right? Yeah, that's gonna be a big draft. Because in that draft, that's a draft that had, obviously the draft that we have upcoming is not bad. There's players, but then at 2011 draft, UDFA's Doug Baldwin and Chris Harris are there. Jason Kelsey was in the 6th round. Richard Sherman was in the 5th round. We got Jarrell Casey in the 3rd. DeMarco Murray, Justin Houston in the 3rd. Rodney Hudson went in the 2nd. Same with Kyle Rudolph and Andy Dalton. And then in the 1st round, just beast, man. One of the best first rounds I ever, especially top 10s. But outside the top 10, you had Cam Hayward, Cam Jordan, Ryan Kerrigan, Mike Pouncey, Robert Quinn, J.J. Watt. But within that top 10, Tyron Smith, Alden Smith, Julio Jones, Pat Pete, A.J. Green, Marcel Darius, Von Miller, and Cam Newton. So that is a massive draft. And regardless of what team we pick, maybe, another thing that will go into the team that we pick might be draft position when it comes time at the end of the 2010 draft to get an idea of what team. I have an idea what team I want to go to, but I generally want to go to a team that's definitely bottom 10 in terms of roster, and a team that's something different, a team that we haven't done before. So I'm going to exclude the Tampa Bay Bucks and the Raiders because we've already done Bucks and Raiders franchises on the channel. We've done Jacksonville. We've also obviously relocated Jacksonville here to Hawaii. So basically, cliff notes. We're going to keep Hawaii in the game so we can go against them with whatever team we pick next. We're going to go through this offseason, sim the 2010 year, and then get to basically where we are right now at the end of next season, and that will be our starting point for Season 3. But without further ado, let's get through this 2010 draft, see who goes where, and then we'll start from there. Top players that will be moving in free agency, we got veterans. Well, in terms of quarterbacks, there's no real big names, like 40, 39, 37, but if you want a veteran, Reggie Bush is a big one. 25 superstar X Factor just hit, and his college teammate Lendo White's there as well. T.O. veteran, looking for maybe a chance at winning a Super Bowl. Another one. Tight end, not a lot there. Offensive line, Alan Faneca, veteran. Olin Kreutz, Matt Burke, Willie Anderson, superstar dev. Defensive line, we got Warren Sapp. Michael Strahan, veteran, but still playing at an incredibly high level. Led the league in sacks last season. Linebacking core, another veteran. London Fletcher, superstar X Factor. So we got a lot of guys that might be going to fringe teams in particular, like teams that are very close, a player or two away, and these guys might be more inclined to go to teams that have a chance at winning a Super Bowl next year because you don't know, they might retire. But for us, obviously, as Hawaii, we don't need anything, so we're going to remain out of free agency. Quickly looking at some of the big names. T.O. is going to Atlanta. Michael Strahan to Tampa. Warren Sapp to Arizona. Faneca to Arizona. Reggie Bush to Arizona Cardinals, making big-time moves. Steve McNair is going to be the signal caller QB in Dallas. Kurt Warner to Minnesota. Jeff Garcia will just not retire, going to the Rams there. London Fletcher back to the Bills. All right. Okay. Some big moves. Veterans. Well, recap from the 2010 draft. Our Hawaii Warriors drafted we had a draft board set, so they followed it pretty well. We got Victor Cruz, Tremaine Brock, James Devlin, Villanueva. Obviously there's some sim elements, like we don't need a fullback. We have Peyton Hillis, Werner. We got Sam Shields. He was UDFA, I think, but 72 hidden dev. And our big pick, we got Sean Lee, outside linebacker from Penn State, 73 hidden dev. Got the face scan, looks pretty dope. Looking at the rest, let's just kind of look at the first round here. Sue went to the Ravens. We got Gronk to the Eagles. McCoy, Eric Berry, Trent Williams going to the Dolphins. Hayden to the Bears. Bradford to the Raiders. Brandon Graham to the Patriots. Earl Thomas to the Vikings. JPP to the Steelers. Demaryius Thomas to the 49ers. You got Pouncey going to the Redskins. Big names. Des Bryant going to the New Orleans Saints. Weren't the Saints the team that gave him a chance to after Dallas? That's kind of weird, even though he's a base 68. I hate Des Bryant. He probably should be in like the 70s for sure. Pierre Hughes going to the Jets. Any other big ones? Carlos Dunlap going to the Eagles. I'm trying to think of like the big names. I guess I know Navarro Bowman going to Baltimore, crazy draft. What do you call was in it? Emmanuel Sanders going to the Miami Dolphins. Antonio Brown. Where did AB go? Just look for wide receivers here. We'll find out where AB go, and that'll be our little draft recap. I don't want this video to be 45 minutes long. Did anyone draft him? Someone definitely. There we go. Oh, wow. Antonio Brown going to the New York Giants in the 5th round. That's a little disgusting. At the beginning of the 2010 season, I'm just going to we'll probably go to the midway point, just kind of look at the standings, and then just go all the way to the end of the season into the playoffs. So we're at the mid-season point of 2010. Our Hawaii Warriors 5-2. Still trailing the Colts in their division, but 5-2. I mean, you should feel somewhat comfortable that they are going to make the playoffs, or at least continue on this trajectory. But I did import the draft class, so we already kind of talked about it, but here we go. Cam Newton. I think all these players now, for the most part, we're starting to get to a point where they're all going to have their player portraits, which is pretty freaking cool. It's one of the positive things. Oh my God, some of these pretty bad. Ooh, Kaepernick. Could things get spicy? And we just draft Colin Kaepernick with our new team. Well, I don't even know if we need to draft a quarterback, whoever we end up picking as our new team. But I can tell you right now, wherever we go, in terms of like favorite players, obviously, I'm not the biggest fan of Cam Newton, given how things happened in his college career. He might have been one of my favorite players in the NFL if he didn't steal a laptop. All right, not a huge Von Miller fan, but AJ Green's dope, Pat Pete's dope, Julio's dope. JJ Watt would be really nice, good cornerstone piece to have on the D-line as a filthy D-line user in myself. Oh, Danny Watkins, the Canadian Danny Watkins. That would have been a time that we have that rule that when you lose by 5 stars, you have to pick a known bust. Just drafting Danny Watkins, having to. But yeah, there's our draft class, and it's a solid draft class. Definitely a really, really solid draft class wherever we end up. At the end of the 2010 regular season, our Hawaii Warriors went 12-4. As expected, I mean, this team is insane. Did not win the South. Looking at the worst teams, I'm telling you right now, we're definitely picking a bottom 10 team. So that means Miami, Cleveland, Minnesota, Washington, Kansas City, Marshalls, Bills, Eagles, Rams, Bucks, and Raiders. So we've eliminated the bottom 2 teams because I refuse to do them. We're not going to do the Marshalls. I'm not doing the Chiefs because I know they have Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback. So really our teams come down to Miami, Cleveland, Minnesota, Washington, Buffalo, and Philly. Maybe the Rams. You could probably throw the Rams. Ooh, that could be time. I don't know. And even the Bills. I've done the Bills before in rebuilds and stuff. In franchise modes a couple of years. A couple of Madden's back. Either way, that's kind of the pool we're looking at. Look at the stats here. How did our boy Colt Brennan do? Ooh, not great in yards, but 35 touchdowns. I mean, I feel good. I feel good about what we've done with Colt Brennan in this little world we've created. He's sensational. Fitzpatrick actually played a little bit as well. AP was dominant. No dominant wide receivers, but that's kind of expected. Defensively, Sean Merriman went off lights. Oh my God. 23 sacks, Jared Allen. 18, Sean Merriman. 10.5, Julius Peppers. 8 for Haloti Ngata. 6 picks Brent Grimes. Did he allow a catch? And Darrell Reeves just doesn't allow catches. Looking at the league leaders. Might as well do that before we just sim out this Warriors playoff run. In the NFL, passing leader was Aaron Rodgers. See, that's kind of why I don't really want to go to Kansas City, because I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers. Where's the fun in just starting with a franchise QB like that? Quincy Carter's another guy that's just been sensational in this game. I don't know why, but I mean, look at that. More often than not, he's putting up MVP caliber numbers in that 49ers offense. Garrett, Vic, all that good. And there's our boy Colt Brennan. Run the ball, AP leading. Amon Green there, Edgerrin James, Frank Gore, Sean Alexander still doing his thing. Look at Mike Allstott, the A-train, going off. Receiving, Michael Jenkins, Mark Clayton, Danny Amendola. There we go. Hines Ward, an actual legit top 10 wide receiver in his time. Colston's there. Not a lot of known 1,000-yard receivers. Reggie Wayne, Jeremy Maclin, T.O.'s there. Defensively, Nick Barnett led the league in tackles, are tied with Cato June for sacks. Jared Allen. That breaks the sack record, right? 23. That's just an insane pass rush that we left them with. Interceptions, Brent Grimes led the league. DRCs, there were 6. Patrick Surtain with 5. His kid's elite right now in college and real life at Alabama. Probably going to be a first-round pick. Champ Bailey's there. All right. Best kicker. Who's the best kicker? Was it one of mine? Nope, unfortunately not. Okay. So there's the quick look at all the stats. I guess we can look. Who won the MVP this year? MVP went to Michael Vick. Coach of the year, Frank. I mean, obviously, Coach of the year doesn't really matter. Defense player of the year, Jared Allen. Golden Tate, Eric Berry. Nothing's too shocking. A lot of the top premier players on the Hawaii Warriors got recognized as such. So we gotta run the gauntlet here for Hawaii. So let's just sim through this wild card game against the 10-6 Denver Broncos. Should be able to handle them, right? Win 38-28. Started out like how we play usually, 17-0 in the first. That's like our Super Bowl run. Great game from Colt Brennan, 385, 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards for AP out the backfield again. That's probably the biggest surprise. We've made AP really an all-around back. 3 sacks, Sean Merriman, couple picks there for Weapon X and Troy Polamalu as the Hawaii Warriors moved on to the AFC Divisional. And then in the division round, knocking off the New England Patriots, 31-19. Tebow's there with Brady. Brady, 2 interceptions. I mean, that Warriors defense. Colt Brennan, solid game, over 100. I mean, there you go, 1-2 punch. Very similar. This is eerily similar to that playoff run we went on last year. Delaney Walker, 78 yards and a touchdown. We got sacks, 2 for Jared Allen, couple picks, Dawkins, and Sean Merriman getting in. I do think, though, when all said and done, Delaney Walker might go down as one of the most unheralded players from this Warriors run. He was our number 1 receiver for year 1. He was dominant. I like that he's still playing at a high level as the Hawaii Warriors have punched their ticket to the AFC Championship game. And in the championship game, handling Pittsburgh. Look at that, 21 points in the second quarter, 35-21. Pittsburgh put up 14 in the fourth, trying to make a go of it. Just too much. Huge game there from Colt Brennan. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Yet to have an interception here in these 3 playoff games. Solid game there from AP, almost 100 yards. 3 touchdowns for Megatron. Defensively, got a couple sacks across the board. Just a scary D-line. No picks, but still 35 points. Relatively uncompetitive championship game as they've punched their ticket to the 2010, obviously in the year 2011, against the Atlanta Falcons. Mike Vick versus Chip Kelly. 12-4. I think I'm going to play the moments, just to look at it that way. I'm not actually going to hop in any way. But let's look at the matchup here. Obviously, with the Warriors, we know our roster. Don't really need to go through this, bit by bit. But looking at what Atlanta, they got Mike Vick, T.O., Clay Matthews, and Keith Brooking as their superstar. Actually, a little bit more on the veteran side. Larry Fitzgerald, Kevin Williams, who's, remember, if you're a Viking fan, part of that Williams wall. Josh Sitton, Kyle Williams, Darren Sproles, Bethea, Marcel Reese, and Devin. I mean, that's a really, really strong roster. Not surprised they made the Super Bowl. So we'll just sit on in. I'll just go right in right away and sim to the end of the game. And we'll see for the front row seat who is going to win the Super Bowl. Can the Hawaii Warriors win back-to-back? All right, let's do it. Let the whole thing play out. Atlanta gets the first score of the game, going up 7-0, but Hawaii's able to go downfield, tied up at 7 apiece. Back and forth. Doesn't look like either defense is proving a lot of resistance, but Atlanta goes into halftime with a 3-point lead. They get a touchdown in the third quarter. God damn, Hawaii's kind of falling asleep. Just took that whole third quarter off. There's a one-score game. Oh, Atlanta. What a Super Bowl. Atlanta at the buzzer. The final play of the game. Kick the field goal. That close. That close to 2 Super Bowls. But Atlanta, Michael Vick and company, TOs there as well. Very good. Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald actually got his first Super Bowl. Deservedly so. You look at the landscape of the current NFL. You would argue you probably want to see Larry Fitzgerald find a way to win a Super Bowl before all is said and done. That's one hell of an effort. I want to see who won the MVP. Get Weapon X up there. I mean, there's some of these guys too on Hawaii. Some of our older veterans. That might be the last go. Who knows if Brian Dawkins is going to hang it up after this. And Michael Vick is the Super Bowl MVP. 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, 72% completion percentage. He is a god, and rightfully so. Unstoppable. Ahead of his time. I can tell you right now, as a Philadelphia Eagle fan, those Mike Vick years might have been like the most exciting. Outside, every year we talk about as an Eagle fan, outside of the year we haven't won the Super Bowl, that should be excluded. If I'm going from not the Super Bowl, your most exciting time was Michael Vick. Michael Vick, without a shadow of a doubt, since I've been a fan. But there you go. Atlanta, you got Larry Fitz, Mike Vick up there, Keith Brooking. They are your Super Bowl champions. And now we have a very, very big decision. LeBron's decision has nothing over what team we're going to be taking on for Season 3 of Flashback Pinks. I still don't really have an idea. I'm going to kind of go look at those rosters, those bottom 10 rosters, give you guys a little bit of a short list, eliminate some teams, and see if we can narrow it down to at least 3 to 5. And ultimately, I'll tell you right now, I will be making the decision. I'm not going to go by technically the most popular, but I definitely want to get your guys' feedback on it. So let's get to that stage. Okay, drum roll please. So out of the bottom 10, I literally went through all the rosters. I graded them by, if they had a quarterback or not. That would weigh into like kind of the cutoff. How many superstars, how many superstar X factors, and their base overall. So the teams that were in the bottom 10, we had the Raiders, Bucks, Rams, Eagles, Bills, Marshalls, Chiefs, Redskins, Vikings, and Browns. Teams that immediately eliminate themselves. The Raiders are gone because we've already done the Raiders franchise. The Bucks are gone because we've done a Bucks franchise. The Marshalls are gone because we've been the Marshalls before and they're, in that division. The Chiefs are gone because generally I'm not going to say I want to just play in the NFC for once because 2 of the 3 teams that I have on my short list are in the AFC. But Chiefs are gone because they're still a really good roster and they have Aaron Rodgers. So it came down to the Browns, Vikings, Redskins, Bills, Eagles, and Rams. As we look through the rosters, 3 teams had to get eliminated right off the rip. First up, we eliminated the Washington Redskins. They had a base overall of an 83, which was the highest of all the remaining teams. They had 11 players with a superstar dev trait, and they had 2 superstar X factors in Champ Bailey and LeVar Arrington. They also had Marshawn Lynch. They were generally a pretty good roster, so it wouldn't be much of a challenge to take them over. Another team that eliminated themselves are the Rams. The Rams were a base overall of an 82, which is, that's a solid overall. But they had 9 superstars and 4 X factors. They had the most X factors, or at least tied for, on this list of our available teams. Sheed Mathis, Orlando Pace. Their quarterback situation is a little shaky. They got 2 old guys between Garcia and Bulger, and that's a common theme for a lot of these teams. A lot of the teams that we're talking about had old quarterbacks. If they had good ones, that won't be there, assuming it takes 3 to 4 years to do a complete turnaround. They're not going to be there that long, but the Rams have eliminated themselves. And lastly, the Minnesota Vikings have eliminated themselves with a base overall of an 83, tied for the highest. They had 9 superstar dev players, 4 superstar X factors. They had Ty Law, Randy Moss, so obviously very old, but it's still, for the sake of trying to eliminate, they're still really good players right off the rip. They have LaShawn McCoy, Greg Olsen, and at quarterback, kind of similar to the Rams, 2 old guys, but still, there's something there between Kurt Warner and Dante Culpepper. So that gave us our top 3 remaining, which I want you guys to kind of vote on what direction you want to see. First up, of the teams to vote on for Season 3 of Flashback Pinks, we have the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns need help at quarterback, nothing there, even though J.P. Lossman played very well. Look at that, 36-7. I mean, he's been playing decently, but he's not really, the franchise quarterback, right? They had 8 superstar dev players and 3 superstar X factors. They need help at running back. They Vontae Leach, one of their superstars, is their fullback. Danny Amendola is there. They have Antonio Gates, so he's getting up there in age just a little bit. Offensive line is solid, generally solid. They got a couple superstars there. Sean Andrews, really solid. Simeon Rice, veteran. They got Linval Joseph. Kirk, superstar X Factor is their 32-year-old linebacker, so that's kind of off the books in a ways, but it still counts. Their secondary looks fairly solid. Tim Jennings, superstar 86. They got Stanford Route 83. Philadelphia Eagle legend Nolan Carroll. Their safeties look on point. They got Eric Berry and they got Eric Weddle. So they have done. Don't even need to touch that. Those are going to be your safeties, team captains immediately. But the Browns are definitely an interesting team, so I thought they should be one of the top 3 for us to decide who to pick from. The next one is the Buffalo Bills. Now, I have been the Bills before on the channel as our main franchise. Obviously, we were the Bills for a little bit, and then we moved them to be the Toronto Huskies. But the Bills are also an interesting team, bottom 10 team, only a base overall of an 80. They have 8 superstar players, 2 superstar X Factors. They need help at quarterback. They have easily the worst quarterback situation. But look at their skill. They got MJD, 88 superstar. They got Mike Tolbert, who counts as one of their superstars. Not a lot of talent at wide receiver. Gonna have to go and rebuild that. Jared Cook's a nice weapon. Their offensive line is pretty good. You got 2 tackles there. You could just swing one to a right tackle. Yeah, across the board, really solid O-line. Defensively, not a whole lot of superstar talent on that front. But when you get to the linebackers, you got London Fletcher, veteran, but he's superstar X Factor. You have Lance Briggs, veteran, superstar X Factor, 93, one of the best linebackers in this Madden world. Secondary is solid. Terrence McGee, superstar. You got Kelvin Hayden. Free safeties. The safeties are, average, but it's a very interesting roster. Definitely, obviously by the overall, a little bit worse than the Cleveland Browns, but like I said, the only thing kind of going against them is we have technically been the Buffalo Bills for a main channel franchise. And to think about that saying, though, the third team, it's the Eagles. I'm kind of want to be the Eagles, but I'll tell you right now, I'm leaning towards them. But if someone can make a strong pitch for the Bills or Browns, and I'll tell you even above all, it's been a while since I've done an Eagles franchise, but the biggest, most important reason why I have the Eagles slightly trending towards that number 1 team is just because I want to get out of the AFC. I just want to go to the AFC because I'm sick and tired of playing the same team, same division, all that stuff. I want to go to the other side. And when we look at the Eagles, I would argue the worst roster out of the Bills and Browns. They only have 4 superstars and 2 superstar X Factors. Obviously, though, with Don McNabb at the most important position, he is 34, 98. Once we send him to the offseason, he's probably going to regress. But, it's still Don McNabb. They still got one of the best quarterbacks in this world. Running backs, nothing. They got LeGarrette Blount, but in terms of ratings, there's not much there. They got Peyton Hillis, which is cool at wide receiver. Dwayne Bowe, Donnie, no superstars. They got Devin Hester, so we have some returnability there. Tight end stacked. 2 tight ends for some reason. We got Heath Miller and Rob Gronkowski, who has Moss. That was their first round pick. I think they got him at pick 2 or 3, something crazy like that. Gronk's fun. That'd be awesome. I'd love playing Gronkowski, but having 2 tight ends, a little annoying. Offensive line, they got Robert Gallery. Generally, the O-line's not great. Probably the worst O-line out of the 3 teams. Defensively, we got Frosty Rucker, Carlos Dunlap, Broderick Bunkley, who actually was on the Eagles originally. Linebacking core, they got veteran Zach Thomas at 38. He actually might not even survive the sim as we go into the offseason. Not much at line. The linebacking core is bad. The secondary, we got Nate Clemens, but he's 31. Terrell Brown. It's no safeties. You got Cam Chancellor, I guess. There's something there. Young superstar dev safety that you can build around. Legion of Boom, what up? They still got David Akers, Steve Weatherford, who actually despised the Eagles. He was the long-term punter for the New York Giants. And they have the number 4 pick in this 2011 draft. So we can make something. That's like J.J. Watt territory if he is still there. So I am kind of leaning towards the Eagles, but it's not definite. Literally, I'm not going to make this decision right now. I want to look at the feedback in the comments, and I really do feel like it's probably between the Eagles and Browns, and I could just as easily see myself going with the Browns. I want to make it enough that when I do decide my team, it's going to be surprising maybe, but I don't know. I feel like it could be time just to do a little Philly franchise. But I'm not mad at the Browns because the Browns generally push views on YouTube, so it might be a better business decision for the YouTube channel to do that. But there you go, guys. That is the short list. The Cleveland Browns, the Buffalo Bills, or the Philadelphia Eagles. What is going to be our Season 3 Flashback Pink Slips team? Let me know what you guys think I should do, and I'll have my decision for you. It's probably Monday. Today is Saturday. I'm literally recording these like I'm getting up on my uploads. I'm like 2 weeks ahead. When you were seeing this video, I recorded it a week and a half in progression before that. But probably on that Monday, this coming Monday, I will drop episode 46 where we do the offseason with our brand new Season 3 team. So let me know what team you want to see in the comment section below. That does it for me here today, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you're excited to get things going. And, you know, whatever team we do, be it Buffalo, Cleveland, or Philadelphia, knowing that there's that juggernaut up down there in Hawaii, that's still pretty goddamn scary. So we will be back. We'll figure it out. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you guys back here tomorrow with a Baltimore Ravens realistic rebuild. Interesting.